Welcome to part 2 of this multi-part series on our travels to regional New South Wales. At the Gulgong Showgrounds, we met everything from kangaroos to falling tree branches, and we were lucky to escape with our lives when this big fella came down, just around the corner from our van. While Peppa was attending the Clay Gulgong Festival and getting some great inspiration from master potters, before we registered, we went to an amazing winery at 791 Estate, just outside of Mudgee, where we had a great afternoon experiencing some fantastic wine flights and seeing the sights and sounds of the Mudgee countryside. I took the opportunity to visit some amazing walks around the place, including the Drip Rock and also a place called the Castle Rocks, where there were some amazing rock formations. Join us as we take you around this beautiful part of New South Wales. Hello and welcome from Mudgee. We've come down here this afternoon after registering at Clay Gulgong, and we are meeting Louisa Lawson.
Yeah.
Do you want to repeat who she is?
Yeah, she's a daughter of Mudgee, a tireless advocate for women's rights and a pioneer of the suffrage movement.
Wow.
And she says here, there is no power in the world like that of a woman. This most potent constituency we seek to represent, and for their suffrage we seek.
Very good. So, very important person in history, 1848 to 1920. But here we are in Mudgee, and look at the beautiful weather we have. It's a lovely sunny day, but I tell you, it doesn't represent the temperature. The temperature is pretty cold. We've got a southerly wind that's come through. Oh yeah, what's this? Hannaford Cox, Colin and McFarland. This must be a lawyer's, is it? Solicitors, yeah, okay. Yeah, close enough.
Beautiful.
And there's the infamous clock tower down the centre of Mudgee. We'll walk up there in just a second. Beautiful old lace ironwork on the buildings. And Peppa's just having a little walk down there. Lovely church just on our left here.
Beautiful.
Looks like
It's such a pretty town.
It is a pretty town.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad we drove out here. It took about 20 minutes to get out here from Gulgong, so not too far away.
By the way, sorry for saying it wrong. It's Gulgong. We always say it wrong, both of us.
Gulgong.
Yeah.
Gulgong.
Yeah.
Okay. St John the Baptist Anglican Church. Yeah, beautiful church here in the middle of town. Yeah, there's somebody getting married there, tying the knot. Best wishes and good luck and all that. So this must be the bridal party's wedding car, and away it goes. Couldn't quite see what make it is. Is it a Rolls Royce? I think it's a Rolls Royce.
It's beautiful.
There it goes. Yeah, probably going to pick the bride up. So just walking around, and we can see a little bit of yesteryear with the old-fashioned letterbox, which was, I think, manufactured in Sydney.
Yeah.
So Peppa was saying.
You never see those here in Australia.
You don't? No, so it's quite nice to actually see one in the traditional red colour. Bit of fading, of course, because it's in the sun most of the time.
Yeah.
There we go. There you go. There is a JAS, is that Lonergan?
Yeah.
Lonergan? Anyway, bit of Irish sort of heritage, perhaps. Who knows? But, yeah, beautiful old building. There you go, JAS Lonergan. We'll have a look at that and find out who or what JAS Lonergan is. This must be an old Masonic lodge, looking at the square and compass at the top there. Now it's a dance studio and a hair salon. But yeah, just look at the architecture on it. Quite interesting there. And then another old building just to our right there, and there's a couple of lion statues out. So we might go and check that out as well. So we've just walked primarily a square kilometre, I reckon, around the main centre of town, and then we're going to head out to probably a winery, would you say? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, babe.
Yeah, I think, is it called
791 it's called.
791.
791.
There's so many wineries around here, it's unbelievable.
Just didn't know where to choose, so it was literally almost like
the closest.
Spin a coin or stick a pin in a map.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure they're all brilliant, so we'll go and check one of those out and do a wine flight perhaps and have a little bit of a tasting. And go from there. But we want to be back reasonably early because Peppa's got a big day tomorrow. Wow, we could almost be back in Toowoomba. Look at these flowers, and they smell beautiful too. I can really smell those pink roses. And there's some still budding through if you have a look here. Look at that.
And
Can't
they
believe it.
smell.
They smell incredible, don't they? Some have
gosh.
bloomed already, but they're still coming through, and I can't believe they're doing it this time of year. So we're at really mid-April at the moment. So yeah, they must be well tended, and yeah, some more buds coming through here as well. But this is a cenotaph to commemorate those who lost their lives, probably around the Mudgee or Greater Mudgee area during the Great War and the Second World War. And what I like about it is the gardens are well maintained and kept. Some of the roses have died off on the left-hand side, but on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, you can see they're still pretty much in full bloom, which is unusual, I would say, for this time of year. Lovely white roses. And just look at that. I love it when they say Post and Telegraph Office. So that gives an indication of how long ago that was built, when telegraph was the world's internet. So yeah, beautiful old building. Got a clock tower there, probably a bell tower originally. And that's obviously got a lot of history, and I'm glad they've maintained it. What a beautiful old building that is. And I suspect it's still the modern day, looking at the post box, it still is the modern day post office. So good on you, Mudgee.
So we're on it looked like Uluru wine trail.
We're coming into
obviously it's
Buckaroo.
not. Yeah, we're coming into a little town called Buckaroo, which we actually love the name of.
Yeah, and it's reminds me of a childhood game where you had to hang things on the back of a horse, and you had to try and get it before the horse buckarooed. So yeah, some of our older viewers might remember that, but I certainly do.
Yes.
But yeah, funny it's called Buckaroo as in a place for, which is what a horse basically does when it's had enough. But also, I never appreciated Mudgee to be such a wine-growing region.
I didn't know that.
Had no idea.
Yeah, everywhere.
But obviously it is, and they're very successful.
Yeah.
But won't pass judgment until we've had our opportunity.
Yes, we'll just see
in
how
about
we go.
3 kilometres.
Yes.
So yeah, looking forward to a wine flight and have a little taster and just see how we go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, just driving along this road here, which is, I don't know if you say Alan or Ulan.
I don't know. Ulan, I think, yeah.
There's
Ulan.
more wineries on the left as well.
Yeah.
This is it. There's the grapes.
791.
791. We're just coming up on the left, so I better indicate.
Yeah.
Is this it?
Yeah, this is it.
Oh, here we go. That came up quicker than I thought, round the bend.
Missed the turning.
You nearly missed the turning, but we got there. It's okay. Oh, look at this. It's beautiful out here. But we need to find a park.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that and then let's get to business.
Okay. Farmer's Daughter Windmill. Just filmed it coming in. We're going to look forward to just sitting outside. I'll see what the wine flights are like, but we might share one of those so we stay within limits, or I need to anyway. And then we'll sit in the sun and enjoy an afternoon glass or two. So we've decided to have 2 wine flights. They're only like little sips, but some of them are going to be the same. A mix of rosés, Rieslings.
Yeah, a dry Chardonnay and a little bit warmer Chardonnay and a dry Riesling.
Yeah.
A nice couple of red blends as well, and a Shiraz.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So this is our setting. This is what we're looking out towards. The kids have got somewhere to play, which is lovely. Looks like a bit of a party over there. And you can grab some water just up on our right there, so you can get some water. And yeah, we're gonna just sit down and enjoy
a well-deserved little break.
A well-deserved little break. We found these chairs, and it's good to sit in the sun because the wind and the air temperature has dropped significantly from yesterday. So cheers everyone. This is a Chenin Blanc. Is that what they call
Chenin
it?
Blanc.
Chenin Blanc. There you go. I knew Rach or Peppa would know the proper name of it, but just a glorious afternoon.
It's so beautiful.
Beautiful, yeah. 8 Ks, I guess, northeast of Mudgee. 791 Estate. There are pizzas available.
They smelled incredible.
They smelled incredible.
Wood
Char
pizza.
grill.
We were so annoyed we were chock-a-block full.
Oh yeah, can't eat it. But if you did want to come and have a pizza, I think they do them on weekends. Looks like they do some sort of dining as well. So yeah, take yourself out to, this is one of I would say hundreds of wineries. So
Literally
you could take your pick.
Swing a cat and you'll hit a winery.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
This one we just read about in the Mudgee regional newsletter. And we thought, we'll give it a nudge, and there's a lot of people here, and that's normally a good sign. And I thought $10 for a wine flight wasn't too bad. Yeah. And not a bad serve. So we're going to just sit here and enjoy that this afternoon.
Enjoy our afternoon. Take a long, slow afternoon.
Exactly.
I love the saying for the whole Mudgee regional area. Their saying is permission to pause. Just take it slow.
Take it slow.
I love that.
Yes.
That's like...
that's just what we need after a busy period of time. Ever since Christmas, really, it's been we've been flogging ourselves, and it's just nice to have a period of relaxation, and we're kind of doing that now, which is nice.
Cheers, we're giving ourselves permission to pause. See you soon.
Cheers then, bye.
But I think so far, the rosé
for sure.
It's hitting the mark.
It's got really lovely full flavour. It's not sharp or tart. It's really nice.
It's really nice. Could be a temptation.
So we are driving through like prime vineyard country.
And also
Excuse me.
at prime roux time, so
Lots of potential roux strikes, but hopefully we'll be okay. It's 4:30.
It's a bloomin' rhino.
Made out of old machine parts by the look of it. There's the springs in there. Yeah, wow. What I do is drift over into the middle. One, because of the camber, but two, because it gives you more opportunity to move gently left or right. I'm not going to say swerve. If you swerve, there's a chance you'll damage the vehicle or go off the road. But what you can do is give yourself an opportunity to try and miss the head-on impact. And that's exactly what happened when we were the other side of Gundawindi, going back to October last year. So we will be getting a bull bar on the front of this truck. It'll probably be the ECB alloy one, and the reason being is it's light. It's one of the lightest bull bars on the market, not the strongest, but that's okay. The whole intent behind the bull bar anyway is to get you home. And you're not going to stop the damage to the bar. You're probably going to prevent the damage to the radiator. If your radiator goes, that's it, game over. And replacing a radiator on an American truck is a bloody nightmare. So we don't want to be in that situation. So we're looking to that. It's probably going to be a $6,000 exercise to get the one we want with spotlights, etc. So the best advice is not to drive at night at all, or late afternoon or in mornings. So, dawn or dusk, try to avoid. But inevitably, sometimes you get caught out, or it's inevitable. With this situation, it's not quite at dusk yet, but that late afternoon, there is a higher probability of a roux strike. So we're just keeping our eyes peeled, and fingers crossed we get back okay.
We were actually at night driving. It was Gundawindi.
Outside Gundy.
Heading out to Gundawindi, and there were semi-trailers coming to us and behind us, in front of us. We were just surrounded. It was like that evening highway kind of situation. And Rob was actually saying, it's all right, semi-trailers will take them all out. They'll scare them away. But actually, one literally, and it was a huge one, came bouncing.
It's a good size.
Good size. To Gulgong Showgrounds. It's a lovely, lovely spot. So beautiful big green field in the middle. It's got lovely spaces all around it, but nice spots.
25 a night though.
25 a night, power and water. You seriously can't beat it.
Dump point.
Really nice.
That's always handy.
Yeah, dump point, toilets.
These are the prime sites just up here on the right, I reckon.
And everybody's just, yeah, Rob really likes these sites on the
Where
end.
these vans are, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you get the sunsets going down over the paddocks.
Yeah.
And they're power and water as well.
Over there?
Just to the right, yeah.
Just he really likes those.
I like those, yeah.
That's his favourite.
And these are pretty good too, because you can set up, look, in this dining area.
Yeah, look, some people have actually set their tent up inside the camp kitchen area. We got really lucky. We got on the very end of this row of vans here. So we had absolutely nobody beside us until a tent arrived. Just at the end there, right beside our van. Oh gosh, we were so pleased we were there to help them. They arrived in basically in the middle of the night. We fed them, clothed them, blah, blah, blah. Not clothed them, that's a bit of a joke, but fed them, watered them, yada, yada. Yeah,
gave them a drink, gave them a feed, and I had to help them with the tent.
And what a posse to be, hey? You might sit down there, a nice afternoon drink.
Today I'm at Gulgong River National Park, and as you can see there's no fires, no camping and no dogs, so that told us pretty clear what the expectations are. And this is called the Drip Picnic Area, part of the Gulgong River National Park, and it's a bit of a walking trail. I think it's around, it's not too bad, 2.8 kilometres, 1.5 hours return, grade 4. So we'll go and have a little look, and apparently you're supposed to be able to hear the water dripping there, and it looks like there's a place where you can have a dip, which I won't be doing today. It's a little bit chilly, but nice, about 20 degrees. It's pretty good. And there's also a hands-on rock as well, so I'm not sure if I can do that from this place or whether I have to walk to or transfer myself to another place in the car. But yeah, tree branches may fall. We know a little bit of that from being in the showgrounds. But this is, some places say it's a grade 3 track, others say it's a grade 4. So I'm not bringing the walking sticks with me today. We're just going to have a little trek along here, and I'll film some interesting scenery and probably do a little bit more when we get to the Drip lookout. So, there we go. Yeah, both grade 4 it says here, so maybe they've upgraded it a little bit. 1.5 hours return, 2.8 Ks. Yeah, looking forward to it. All right, catch you then. So there's a lesson straight up. When you get about 500 metres into the walk and you realise you left your phone in the car. So I'm going to have a little walk back. I'm not that far in. It's probably worth doing because the last thing you want to do is get stuck somewhere, have a fall or twist your ankle, or even worse, get a snake bite. And there's no opportunity to call someone or let somebody know that you're in danger. So I thought it's probably a good idea to head back to the car and pick that up. So let's do that now and then crack on. So there is this little waterway down the bottom by the start of the track, and it's probably a nice place for kids to go and have a splash in the water, cool down a little bit. It's not been a lot of rain around here in the Gulgong National Park, so I don't think it's really flowing that much, but as you can see, plenty of places where you can set up a picnic. It is called a picnic area, so no barbecues, but there's plenty of places where you can have a packed lunch or whatever and just settle down with the family. These rock formations are pretty spectacular. Look at that. You see how the erosion's taken place over many years. This is right at the beginning of the track too, so you don't have to go too far to see some interesting rock features. The sun's just coming through there, but you get a bit of an idea of how the erosion's taking place. Look at those cracks there. Wow, a bit of a huntsman as well hanging down. Seen better days. Some more of these natural rock features here. It wouldn't surprise me if there's some indigenous art as well. Maybe handprints or whatever. Sometimes you get graffiti, unfortunately, but who knows? Notice how much cooler and moister it is here. Say that right. compared to the average bush. Okay, the cliffs shade the ground and the soil is deep and fertile from the river. Wow, I had no idea this was here. And look at that hollow there, just in the distance. See how it's all eroded out underneath. And I imagine one day those tougher rocks, or the harder rocks a little bit above, are going to start coming down. This is a great track. Really enjoying this. Look at the way the pathway weaves around the rocks. This is well worth it. I'm glad I chose this pathway and this walk today. Oh wow, look, they've even had to cut it around these boulders. So a bit of a squeeze through here, but it's not too technical. And I've got a gammy knee, but I can make it. I haven't bought my poles today, so it's not that technical. Check out the river there. It's really peaceful here. Look at these rocks, look at these softer rocks underneath, how they're crumbling away, and these big, heavy, harder rocks above. That's pretty spectacular, look at that. You also get owls, wallabies, redneck wallabies. Yeah, we'll look out for those. Okay, I know a few of you are going to be rocked out by the end of this walk, but just look at that. Look at the shapes and the formations there. Well, I've never seen anything like it. The only thing this reminds me of is maybe Wave Rock over in WA. But look at that. I had no idea this was here. I'm really glad I came on this walk. So this is where one gorge meets another. Not sure it might be, I'm guessing here it might be sandstone formations, because it's real soft underneath. Just look at this. And it's a sandy bottom too. So there's a clear indication. You know, bugs that have nested there, but look at this. It's just so sandy, so that's why I'm saying it's probably sandstone, but probably we're getting close to that the drip rock shortly, because it would need that moisture to survive. Yeah. We're actually going through a rock formation that must have been eroded many years ago, but look, you can actually walk right the way through it here. In fact, it's almost a little bit echoey as you come through. And just when you thought it couldn't get more spectacular, just look at that. It's got to be at least 30, if not more, metres up. And then the walk takes you almost underneath these formations here. Just trolling up the steps. I don't want to trip. But look at this. It's absolutely amazing. A little bit of an information piece here. And what it says is that it is sandstone, so I was right earlier on. But what's happening here is they call it recycled rock. And what you get is the sand grains mixed up with quartz pebbles in some of the layers. And it's all stuck together with clay and iron minerals, mostly invisible without a microscope. And what we're seeing are these fantastic colours. You can see the pebbles up there, almost like glued together. You can see how the layers have sort of been layered upon each other after years and years of being compressed. But yeah, this is almost like a big wave that goes right the way underneath this rock into the distance. Where I'm standing is actually called the Lookout. So what it says here is the drip never seems to dry out. The water is constantly seeping out of the cliff, nourishing moisture-loving plants and dripping into the river below. If you walk down below the cliff, you can see that the drips are actually coming from several different layers. These are the bands of smoother claystone amongst the rougher sandstone. So what we'll do now is we'll go down. I can hear rivers trickling down below. So we'll just go down and have a little look, join those families down there and those other walkers, and see if we can actually hear and see the drip itself. How good is this? It's just beautiful, peaceful. Part of the river here. The Gulgong River, 90 kilometres long. It must be up in the spring sort of area. But it's a lovely way to access the drip rock. And I'm really enjoying this walk. You can see how the river snakes around this bit of sandstone here. Wow, just check this out. And this is what they mean by those different layers. The water is coming out of those different layers, and then you've got ferns growing out of there. It looks like some sort of grasses as well, moss, a whole different diversity of fauna and vegetation coming out of here. Can you hear the drips? You might hear the kids in the background, but I can hear the drips. So this is the dripping rock. Can you hear the drips? So here's another rock that serves as a bit of a lookout. Kids are loving it because they've got a bit of an echo behind me. So they'll be enjoying making lots of noise and hearing their voices come back at them. But yeah, it's just, this is probably the head of the trail. I'm not going to go any further. You can walk a bit further, but I'm going to turn around now and head back to the car. I want to get another 1 or 2 walks in today. So that's the way back. I'm on top of a little bit of a rock face there, and yeah, see what else we can get in today. I love this shape here. It almost reminds me of a fan. If you imagine like a fan opening up, or a shell. It's just really unusual shape and colours. Again, it's kind of almost like a big bite taken out of it. Okay, I know everyone's probably rocked out by now, but look at these formations here. I didn't quite get this on the way up to the drip, but as you come back down, it's just these different layers. And then what they were saying is that these formed under the Earth's layer today and were forced up. So all these different layers were for millions of years under the ground that we stand on today, and they've been forced up with the movement of time. You can see those layers and how the softer rock erodes away and exposes the harder rock above. And you get these beautiful natural formations. Has everyone had enough rocks by now? I suspect they have. But I just couldn't resist. It's not often you get to see these types of formations. So, I want to make the most of it and obviously have an opportunity to show you guys as well. And again, more veg growing underneath where the water is seeping out of the rock. I've got to tell you, I'm impressed by that walk. I would highly recommend it. So I'm going to get a cold one from the back, not an alcoholic one. I do have non-alcoholic ones. Got the Blue Eddy there just to show you that. That's an AC 180. And what I do is I use that to charge up the fridge, which is in the back. And then I've got a device called a Charger 1, and the Charger 1 charges at 4 times or so the rate of a standard cigarette lighter. So it keeps it well topped up when I'm on the move. And the little Coolman fridge I have, fit will open. So yeah, I've got a few things in there, but most of all, I think I will have one of these, which is a Mount Franklin passion fruit. Natural flavour. So that's just what the doctor ordered after a nice walk. It's a little bit warmer now, so I'm going to lose the body warmer, and we're going to go on to Hands on Rock, go and show you that, and then we'll crack on to another place maybe near Mudgee. But yeah, that's been a great walk and a great day thus far. It's not often I get one right, but that one certainly was right. So we'll see you on the next one. Cheers. So we're going on the Munghorn Gap Nature Reserve, Castle Rocks. 4 kilometres one way, easy grade. So there's supposed to be a view at the end, so this will be interesting. No dogs, no horses, no motorcycles, no vehicles. Yeah, that's pretty much a given. Anyway, there's no other vehicles here, just me and the Ram and one other visitor from Victoria. So if I just pan this round, got the sun hat on because started to warm up a little bit. It's in the low 20s, but I got a bit of a run around. I got to admit, it took a while to get here. I tried to go and see the Hands on the Rock, which is supposed to be quite close to the previous Goulburn River walk that we did with the drip, but I don't know if it's Waze or if it's me or both, but I just ended up going around in circles trying to find this historic place where there's Hands on the Rock, indigenous art, and I just end up going in circles. So it could be an age thing, could be a technology thing, but I did restart the phone, and it also reminded me of a really important lesson, particularly when you go in country. It doesn't take long before you start running out of cell phone coverage. So I do have a Starlink Mini, but it's not in the car, it's back in the caravan. And we have it in standby mode, which means it does connect and you can get maps, you can send text messages, you can browse very slowly, but you can't stream. Now, in hindsight, I should have brought that and maybe set it up in the car, but that was in hindsight. So I ended up driving all over the place, trying to find the Hands on the Rock art. Probably did an hour's worth of round trip, burned a bit of fuel, burned a bit of time. So here we are an hour and a half later, and we're on the Castle Rocks walk. So we got here in the end, but it took a little bit longer than I expected. But yeah, lessons learned and all that. It's just one of those things that you have to live with. But anyway, let's enjoy this walk, 4 kilometres. I don't think it's going to be as interesting as the last walk in terms of getting there, but once we're there, I believe there's quite a nice lookout, so I'm looking forward to that. So 4 kilometres each way, 8k round trip, and a nice bit of exercise. So let's look at the positives, eh? You know, it occurred to me as you walk through nature, it's a good time for self-reflection. And today I've been a little bit self-reflecting on sort of men's health. It's probably not gone unnoticed that I've had the bit of growth and a moustache here. I started that just before November last year, and I kept it going all through Christmas, but I'll probably take it off in the next week or so. And the whole intent of that obviously is to raise awareness of men's health, which can be physical and mental, obviously. And you know, my own personal journey, which was completely unexpected and out of the blue, was breaking or snapping my left patella tendon last year during Cyclone Alfred and cleaning up in the yard afterwards. A clean snap which really changed my life to a certain degree. It didn't really sink home until the specialist says to you, you're lucky to walk, let alone start running or cycling or getting involved in extreme sports or activities. So that was a real wake-up call for me, and the leg hasn't been the same since. I've done everything the physio's asked me to do. I probably could have done a bit more, but yeah, it teaches you basically how things can impact you when you least expect it. And this was one of those things that I didn't see coming. And it made me reflect on those that, you know, who may be going through more difficult times, dealing with cancers or major illnesses or traumas, and they don't see it coming, they don't plan for it, but it happens. So when it does, and then the likelihood is it will, you need to be prepared for that. So yeah, I didn't see that one coming, and that's just my journey, and I'm sure there'll be probably worse things that are going to happen in the years to come, but it's gave me I suppose an opportunity to stop, think and reflect on what's important in life. And just being out here in nature, being able to walk through these fire trails or, you know, to these beautiful places in nature is one of those things that I thought might be taken away from me. And if that happens, that's another thing that, you know, we didn't plan for, didn't expect. So I suppose the other part to this is gratitude. And just being able to walk through nature, enjoy this beautiful scenery we've got around us. Yes, it's a bit mundane, but hey, just being able to go for a walk was something I started to appreciate, especially after being 3 months sat on a couch, not being able to move after surgery. So here's to being grateful, to gratitude, to being out in nature, enjoying these walks, and just I suppose a little moment to reflect on, I'm going to say men's health, but it's both men and women's health, and being prepared for the unexpected. So yeah, just a moment of self-reflection as I walk through this very tranquil, I call it forest, and a chance to think about what's important in life. Yeah. One thing I have observed as I look from left to right is that they've had some serious bushfire through here at some stage. there's a lot of scarred trees. You can see the blackened trunks and branches, particularly at lower level. And they have grown back. Some of them haven't, like this one here has not recovered. Others have, and you can see the growth in the canopies above. But if I was estimating when this happened, it was probably the big national bushfires of 2019, 2020, during that bushfire season when virtually the whole of the east coast was burning. And I'd say some have recovered and some are still recovering and some have perished. But it just goes to show that this whole region would have been impacted by those major bushfires at that time. But there's a little wallaby in there. Yeah, I absolutely crap myself. I'll just get a little bit closer. Can you see him through the scrub? He's just there. He'll probably bounce off in just a minute. But I'll try and get a bit closer. He's pretty... Oh, there he goes. Bouncing away. Wow. Oh. There he goes. Wow, I did not expect that. That spooked me. There could be anything on these sorts of this forest land. It could be anything from rock wallabies to snakes to spiders to you name it. But yeah, that spooked me, that one. And I'm going to try a new to me piece of technology. So it's an Insta-X2 camera, which is one of those 360 type devices. I think they're up to X5 or X6 or something at the moment, and that shows you how quick technology is moving. But it seemed like the right time to dive in. One, because the X2 was bloody cheap. I think I got it for $250, and it's probably one of those that's been refurbished. I don't care, as long as it works. And what I thought is it could be useful for those occasions where drones are not permitted. We're finding more of this now in national parks where, you know, they don't like you using drones for whatever reason. I don't know if it's disturbing the wildlife or just, you know, cultural reasons, whatever. But the X series of devices can give you an alternate perspective where you can stick them up for about 3 meters above your head and get a bit of an above view type situation. So we'll give that a go, and bear with me because it's the first time I've used it, and I've spent a few frustrating days trying to calibrate it and set it up. So we'll give it a go when we get to the lookout, and yeah, you can give me some feedback on what it looks like. And so we've got a choice now. We're about 3.5 k's in. Castle Rock's Fire Trail. Yeah, I don't think so. Or Castle Rock's Lookout. Yes, cliff edges, I accept that. I think we'll go this way. Check out the lookout. Just almost in the middle of nowhere, coming out of the fire trails, are these rocks. Wow. And it looks like the parks have been generous in putting a staircase in for those who make it this far. My watch is just saying under, is it 4.18 kilometres or thereabouts? So anyway, we'll go up here and see what's on the other side. I've been told it's pretty spectacular, so let's have a look. Sucking in the big ones now. Final part. So we've got a handrail. We'll grab that and get up this bit here and let's see what's over the edge. Oh wow, look at that. Wow, that's a view. My goodness. Yeah, it certainly was worth it, wasn't it? Wow, how does a tree, a gum tree, grow out of nothing just on rock? That's incredible. Okay, look at these sculptures. It almost reminds me of the Three Sisters in New South Wales, down in the National Park Katoomba. That's it, down there. There's a beautiful lookout here, and as they say, it's not fenced, so you've got to have your wits about you. Look at that. What a beautiful view out there. Now, admittedly, I didn't see a sign saying no drone, so I could have flown the drone out, but I didn't bring it. I'm going to use the 360, so we'll give that a go. It's a long way back and probably a helicopter rescue from here, which I don't fancy doing. Look at that. Look at those stunning pieces of rock. just down below. Oh my goodness, they're over here too. So this is the Castle Rocks, and I guess they're so named because of the rugged appearance. Look at those, just through that tree there. They're so named because of their appearance, I guess, like a castle. Anyway, look at that. Feels you're on top of the national park here, and you are, to a certain degree. Wow, that's incredible. All right, I might just take a little perch up to the top there. Obviously, I'll be careful and see if we can get a better aspect. I'll quickly show this because I am perched on a rather precarious height, and even myself, I'm a little bit uneasy. But yeah, I'm not going to be too brazen. If you have a look over the edge, you can see we're a fair way up. But just look at that view. Well, I'd say that was worth it. That was worth the 4Ks in. I've obviously got to do the 4Ks back out. But what a breathtaking view this is. A bit windy. Sorry if that comes through on the mic. That's where we just came from. Let's have a go with the Insta 360, eh? That's been fun. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We've walked around 4.5 Ks, about 4 Ks to get back. And I don't want to be much later because it's roux time, and you know what it's like driving back in late afternoon in prime roux country. So, all right, so that's it, done and dusted. The watch says 8.83 Ks, so I might just walk up and down just to get another 150 or so in to get over the 9 kilometre mark. That'll be 14 Ks all up today, which is respectable, I think. I haven't done that for a while. So it's not a huge amount, I suppose, in total, but for me it is. I haven't been for a long walk in quite some time. So got back to the car. The time is now, what's the time? 3 o'clock. And it's getting to that late afternoon, so I'm going to head back to Gulgong now, get some fuel, and then see what Peppa's doing. If those out there are curious where she is today, she's at the Clay Gulgong Festival. She's attending masterclasses and having a great time. So we're kind of going our separate ways during this week, and then we come back together on Thursday and head back to Brisbane, taking the slow drive up the Leichhardt Highway. So that's the plan for this week. Tomorrow I might venture out to one of the dams and have a look at getting the kayak out, which I'm just waiting for the wind to die down a bit. It's been a bit windy. It's not much fun when it's windy in a kayak, unless you've got a sail on board, of course. But let's see how we go. I'll judge that tomorrow. But that's it. It's been a good day. I really enjoyed this walk, although, as I said to the couple that have just embarked on their walk now, it's pretty much fire trail all the way to the scenic part. The scenic part is spectacular. Then it's fire trail all the way back. Whereas the drip rock, that pretty much is spectacular all the way. So yeah, I think the drip rock is probably a more impactful walk. This one I've enjoyed, but probably won't do that again, even though I did enjoy the scenery at the other end. But yeah, that's it for now. Signing off. Hey look, thanks for joining us once again on Bonnie Adventures for this fantastic trip to regional New South Wales. Come back next time where I explore Lake Windermere in the inflatable kayak, we explore Gulgong museums, and we take the journey back to Queensland where we'll be staying in low-cost camping sites which are good for the wallet and good for everybody. See you then.